Health and the founder of Sheela.ie, and you are very welcome to our YouTube channel, Sheela Women. At Sheela, we're on a mission to empower you to take care of your pelvic floor health and your whole body. So today we've got a little routine for you that's really going to help you get started in the morning. It'll help wake you up gently, it'll get those pelvic floor muscles mobilized, strengthened, and ready for your day. Let's get started. So we're going to start today's routine down on the floor. So you'll need to be on a mat or on a piece of carpet, it really doesn't matter. You're not going to be here for terribly long, so just make sure you're comfortable wherever you are. So starting on your back, with your feet hip distance apart and the knees pointing to the sky. Just make sure your shoulder blades are snuggled in underneath you, back of your neck is long, you might need to tuck your chin slightly. Rest your hands gently on your belly. We're going to start with a couple of rounds of belly breathing, just to tune into what's happening in our bodies. Let go of any unnecessary tension and see if we can connect with those pelvic floor muscles. So, with the chest relaxed, the tummy soft, we're just going to breathe in gently through the nose and allow the tummy muscles to expand as we breathe in. And as you breathe out, they gently return. Pelvic floor muscles move down and away as you breathe in, opening, releasing, and relaxing. And as you breathe out, they gently return and contract slightly. Breathing in is a release and let go. Breathing out, a gentle contraction of the tummy and the pelvic floor. Breathing in and breathing out. Pelvic floor, of course, forms the base of our core muscles. So it coordinates with the diaphragm when we breathe, moving down and away, creating space for our organs to move into. And returning as we breathe out. It starts that motion of our abdominal muscles contracting, starting with the anus, perineum, vagina, and moving up into this transverse abdominis, this sheet of muscle we have wraps around our core here. One more breath in here, nice and relaxed. And breathe out. Now continuing with that breathing pattern, we're going to add a pelvic tilt. So as you breathe in, expand and allow the pelvis to rotate forward, anterior pelvic tilt. The small of the back moves away from the mat, tummy expands, pelvic floor releases and opens. As we breathe out, pelvic floor squeezes from the anus, perineum, vagina, and the abdominal muscles wrap around and pull your spine closer to the mat. The small of the back is on the mat. Breathe in, let it all go and allow the pelvis to come forward, nice and released. Breathe out, spine to the mat, lower back in, pelvic floor engaged, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Breathe out and release. We're going to accentuate that hold at the end here, so you're going to squeeze and hold the pelvic floor. Breathing in, release everything. Pelvis is rocking forward. Breathe out, squeeze the anus, perineum, vagina. Squeeze, 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 and hold. Allow the tummy muscles to come in. Hold it all together. Breathe, breathe, breathe out. When you're ready, release. And breathing. Now we're going to take that motion into a bridge pose. So hands flat on the floor, toes pointing towards the opposite wall. Breathe in, release. As you exhale, we're going to curl the spine off the mat. So really squeeze the pelvic floor here. Anus, vagina, perineum, the whole lot. As you gently allow the spine, one vertebra at a time, to rise up. Looking for a straight line here. You want the barrel of the rib cage in line with the top of the pelvis there. And nice and smooth. Don't be tempted to come up too far. Nice and smooth. Keep it all in a line. Breathe in. Exhale. You're going to go down one vertebra at a time. So the aim here is slow and with control. So a bridge pose, when you engage your pelvic floor muscles, engages them much more. Breathe in at the bottom. And out we go again. Engages the pelvic floor muscles much, much more than Kegels on their own. Slow and steady really is the name of the game here. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze at the top. You're working your glutes. Breathe in, and when you're ready, slow exhale as you come back down. Keep squeezing the pelvic floor all the way to the bottom and enjoy that release and breath in. Go one more. At the top. Don't let the knees come out to the sides here. Keep everything nice and in a line. Knees in line with the toes. Hips in line with the knees. And ribs in line with the pelvis. Just give yourself a gentle shake or a little rock there, whatever you do. In fact, let's bring the knees to the chest. This is a really good pelvic floor release here. We're not squeezing anything, except a little bit with our arms holding our knees. Pelvic floor, lower back, releases. Any movement you want to take there. And when you're ready, we're going to turn around and roll onto our side and move up into kneeling. So you want to find a position on your mat where your knees are hip distance apart. Your hands are in a line directly from your shoulder. If you want to, you can pad the knees here if the knees are sore, and if you want to give the wrists a break, you can come up onto fists. Again, we're not going to be here for terribly long, so don't worry too much. So we're going to take that pelvic tilt into cat-cow now. You want to start in neutral spine. That simply means the spine is straight. If I had a baby orange here, it would not be falling off. And then we're going to curve the spine. So breathing in, release everything. Starting with a tilt at the pelvis here. So we're curving it forward, pelvis coming forward now. And as your pelvis comes forward, you breathe in, expanding across the back here, really releasing the pelvic floor muscles. Even bring the head up to look forward. And then on the exhale, you do the opposite. So you start the squeeze again from the anus, perineum, vagina, really squeezing those muscles as much as you can. Pushing the spine into a dome shape towards the ceiling. Breathe out, pull the abdominal muscles up towards the spine. Release, breathe in. Move in the opposite direction, releasing across the back of the pelvis there. Again, slow and with control. Go at your own pace here. This is a really good one to just try and every time start the movement with the pelvis. With the squeeze or release of the pelvic floor muscles. It's all about coordination, especially first thing in the morning. If we can coordinate our muscles first thing, we can start our day off right and hopefully continue those patterns of movement throughout the day. Allowing our pelvic floor to respond to the demands our body places on it without us even having to think about it. Now, we're going to come back to neutral spine and just start a few rotations of the pelvis. So again, keeping this movement quite small, really tuning in and allowing the pelvic floor to operate. It's 14 different muscles here. So we'll allow the different ones in the different parts, the back, the side, the 3 different layers, all to switch on and switch off, to stretch, to squeeze and release as they're required to. Change direction if you haven't already. Just drawing circles with the pelvis there. You can take the weight out of your hands a little by pressing more into your fingers, allowing the collarbone to be nice and good. That's great. Now we're going to move into standing by pushing back onto our heels, and then we're going to come up to kneeling as you breathe out. Put one foot in front of the other, and then the other. Now, when you're comfortable in standing, we're just going to do a little bit of balance. So balancing is one of the things that really does recruit the pelvic floor. It's one of the things we do all the time when we didn't even think about our pelvic floor. But it's really important to get our alignment right, and our pelvic floor is very important for that. As we know, posture and alignment are all about pelvic floor, and then our balance. So a little bit of a march, find a comfortable foot position. Then when you're ready, keeping your gaze straight ahead, you want to feel that your pelvis is tucked under you, not in a tilt forwards or even backwards. Nice and in a line. And we're going to put the weight into one foot, any foot you like. Now you can use a chair, a wall. You don't get extra brownie points for doing this without holding on to something. It's just about recruiting those muscles and challenging yourself. So you want to grab the outer edge of one foot, bring it as close as you can to your bum, You want your knees to be close together. Keep those hips in a line. You don't want one higher than the other. Keep them nice and in a line. You can have your gaze out straight in front of you. If you find this really easy, you can turn your head slowly from side to side. That's kind of hard for me. Or if you're really good at that, you can try closing your eyes. But what you might need to do is just pull up from the pelvic floor a little bit. Engagement here, some people find the image of zipping up your jeans helpful so that your lower abs are engaged and drawing in, your quad muscles are pulling up that kneecap, hips are in a line. You just breathe gently. And release that, let's take it to the other side. Breathe in, breathe out to move. Sometimes I find it helpful to put my hand up, or even to steady it on my chest here. Knees as close together as you can. You get a lovely stretch across this quad muscle at the front. Heel to your bum. Doesn't matter if you're wobbling here. This is great for strengthening your ankles. Great for stretching out those quads. And how long you can balance on one leg is actually a really good measure of your physical age. Apparently we should be able to stand for about 45 seconds on one leg without wobbling in our 40s. And if you can't quite achieve that, it just means you need to practice it more. The better your balance, the less chance of you falling over and having a bad injury like a broken hip that could really impact your quality of life. There we go, that's enough of that. So, feet quite close together now. Again, in that nice alignment, ribs over your pelvis there. Nothing squashing forward or tucking back. Nice and in a line. Put your weight into your left foot. Lift the right foot off the ground. We're just going to do 8 heel raises out to the side. Breathe out for stability. And breathe in and take it to the other side. Weight into the right foot. Again, we're using our balance here, our pelvic floor coming into its own. And we're just exercising different sides of the pelvic floor, really, really important. Our last move now, we're just going to stack the spine and do a little bit of roll down to send us on our way. So chin to the chest. You're going to let the weight of the head take your body forwards. So the slower you can do this again, the more control you have, the more your abs are working, the more the pelvic floor is responding. You can bend the knees as much as you like here. It's just a great chance to stretch out the spine. I'm wobbling my arms as I like to feel the weight of them pulling my spine down and stretching it all out. Stop wherever you feel comfortable. No need to touch the floor. Your hands touch the floor like that. It is great for you, but it's just about what feels good, not about pushing anything at all. Take a few breaths in and out. Nice and relaxed, soft tongue. At the bottom, and when you're ready, bend your knees. You're going to engage the pelvic floor. That's it, to roll up. So you're sending your bum towards the ground now. Energy into the feet. Slowly pushing away from the ground. Breathing out. Breathing in when you need to. And finally allowing shoulders to rotate back and the head, neck and chin to come up to standing. That's it for this week's video. We really hope you enjoyed waking up with us this morning and getting ready for your day. If you have any comments, please let us know below this video, and do like and subscribe. It really does help us keep making free content for you. If you'd like more free content, head over to Sheela.ie and you'll find our free resources tabs. You can download guides, symptom trackers, all sorts of goodies to help you stay on top of your pelvic floor health. Thanks for watching.